Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night LIGHT, where we talk about random topics that somehow relate to sci-fi and horror. Well, it seems once again I am apologizing for a long layoff, but I don't know, I've just got a lot going on now in my life, so sorry, I'm doing my best, but you guys are gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, I know I've been gone a long wait, what was it? Why was I just censored? Can I not say anymore on YouTube? Wait, really? Wait, let's see. Oh, god mother ass piece of shit, YouTube. Okay, well I guess my videos going forward will be a little bit different. Anyway, one of the recent action horror crazes of the past years that has reached mainstream appreciation is undoubtedly the Purge series, which is made up of 5 films and 2 surprisingly good seasons of a TV series on, ironically enough, the USA Network. For those of you who don't know about the Purge series, then, well, you've certainly been living under quite the peaceful rock so far. Basically, in an alternate USA, a kind of fascist party called the New Founding Fathers of America have taken office. Under the very thin guise of lowering crime and poverty, the NFFA have instituted one day a year, or well, half a day technically, in which all crime is legal, allowing people to go get out all their pent-up aggression, permitting people to freak out and basically just get down with the sickness before returning to their everyday 9-to-5 jobs just like normal the day after. Now, I'm not going to get into the supposed science of if this actually works in lowering aggression and reducing crime because, well, spoiler alert, it doesn't work. But rather, let's get into why the Purge series has become such a big hit, and what draws us to this overly violent exploitative series that I myself am actually a very big fan of.
Surprise, motherfucker!
In fact, I hosted my very first Purge party last year leading up to Halloween, and we all had a blast. Alright, so let's get back to the point and try to answer why people seem to really love the Purge franchise so much. Let's start with a concept. The idea of having a get-out-of-jail-free card, to be able to do anything we wanted and to get away with it, is probably something we've all dreamt of. Unless you're part of a rich and powerful elite, in which case you can probably get away with quite a bit anyway.
We pat ourselves on the back because we made this country great. So thank you. And I hope this party's as good as last year's.
I remember when I was a boy, I had this dream of getting locked inside a toy store after closing hours and just being able to steal everything I wanted. This is kind of the adult version of that. Surely we've all had a boss, coworker, neighbor, or acquaintance, but we just wish we could kick in the face. Or perhaps something even more violent. The thought of being able to get one's rage out without societal repercussions is definitely appealing for those of us who aren't in a position of power. It taps into the idea of getting some sort of catharsis, a purification or cleansing, basically that we purge ourselves of those thoughts and emotions by getting it all out. And let's face it, in today's TikTok, ADHD, Mountain Dew society, that sure seems a lot faster and easier than going to therapy or complex conflict resolution, right? To just go out and get all down with the sickness.
What's happened to our country, Joe?
Mr. Sabian, I wish I knew.
In fact, there are a few existing festivals or rituals which celebrate the breaking of rules in favor of purging the negative. In the Chumbiviclas province of Peru, the inhabitants celebrate Takanokui once a year, on December 25th of all days. Takanokui, which means to fight in the local native language of Quechua, is a yearly festival in which grievances, rivalries, jealousy, basically all kinds of beef can be settled with a street fight. Because, you know, nothing says Christmas Day like getting down with the sickness. There's no MMA-style ground strikes once a fighter is dropped, and it's more or less just a glorified sparring session with someone you don't like. Now, I'm not hating on it, I'm just saying it's not as violent as it might seem.
Esto del takanaki sirve como un espacio de resolución de conflictos. Entonces, mucha gente, por cuestiones sentimentales, territoriales, de enemistad, de familia a familia o algo, lo resuelven ahí.
Rage rooms, also called smash rooms or anger rooms, are basically exactly what they sound like.
For $25, customers are given 5 minutes and a baseball bat to demolish everything in sight.
They give you a chance to go into a room and just smash the shit out of everything. And believe me, that kind of stuff feels good.
But it's just fun to break stuff. It's really that simple in some ways. It can be much deeper, but it really is that simple at its core.
Also, let's go back to an earlier point I touched on that crybabies no doubt have already written a comment about. The rich getting away with things that the poor can't. You know, as unbelievably biased and controversial as that statement is. In the Purge series, there is almost an exploitative sense of black and white political and moral views on the whole Purge itself. This very obvious depiction of good versus evil makes it very easy for us to relate to. We immediately know which side we're on, and we start thinking how much we would want to get payback as well. In the first film, we follow the upper middle class family, the Sandons, who make a fortune off of selling home security to other rich people. They live their lives as normal, never truly threatened by the Purge outside, until a fleeing homeless man is let into their house.
Mr. and Mrs. the man you're sheltering is nothing but a dirty homeless pig. A grotesque menace to our just society who had the audacity to fight back, killing one of us when we attempted to execute him tonight.
In the second film, we see how everyday people in downtown LA are forced to deal with the horrors of a Purge, while the rich use it as a luxury. This is something explored even more in The Purge 3, while also tapping into political angles of it and having the most obvious, in-your-face, on-the-nose message ever with the bad guys.
They want the impossible. Everyone to have. Some cannot have. Not enough to go around.
In fact, speaking of the bad guys, that is just as much exploitation as well. I mean, they are so two-dimensional. They're either violent Mad Max-style psychopaths whose normal existence in the world I just simply don't understand.
It's survival of the fittest. Who's the fittest? I'm the fittest of them all!
Or they're mustache-twirling Bond villains that seem to think that anyone who isn't a millionaire is worth about as much as a cockroach.
Your home tells me you're good folk, just like us. One of the haves. Let me introduce us. We are some fine, young, very educated guys and gals.
Purgers, please suit up. Good luck. Good luck. We'll see you shortly on the hunting grounds.
But doesn't that also make it so much easier to hate them? I mean, when they're brutally murdered, we don't really feel sorry. In fact, we feel a little bit good, because it feels like the bad guys got exactly what came to them in a way that's usually super violent but doesn't feel controversial or brutal because of how black and white everything is.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell!
So anyway, continuing, clearly the structure of the Purge makes it safer for the rich, in fact even advantageous, as they don't really risk much at all, while the less desirable or profitable people of society who can't afford guards, a deluxe home security system, or other luxuries are forced to fend on their own. These points are directly brought up in the films to make a painfully obvious message even clearer.
That's enough. I can't listen to this crap. He's as full of as they are.
No, he's right. Come on, they're keeping the population down by getting rid of people like us to save money.
It all goes back to a pretty damn extreme case of neoliberalism, with the lower class being more or less disposable. And don't worry, the use of the word neoliberalism is about as political as I'm gonna get from here on out. Surely, most of us have felt some kind of resentment or even jealousy of those who can do anything with little to no repercussions. What if one night a year we had the chance to right those societal wrongs? By doing something that in itself is morally wrong in society anyway. Doesn't this make it so much easier to pick a side, and maybe it even makes you think about joining along if the Purge itself were real? The untamed destruction also gives the everyday citizen a way of fighting back against the man, taking shots at society and, by extension, the government, which then in turn surely use taxpayers' money to clean up all the chaos that happens on Purge Night. Short-sighted? Yes. Fun? Yes. But let's face it, we all have days, weeks, or sometimes even longer periods where we feel like an early 2000s nu metal band. So while the excessive violence and action horror is at surface level something that many can easily get into, we are in fact taking part of the whole purge rituals ourselves. Yes, us, the viewers. Though we're watching films and TV series and not actually committing crimes, we are in a sense getting some kind of release of pent-up emotions and desires. We watch the mindless carnage and two-dimensional plot points and characters, so we know exactly what we're getting. We're getting a quick fix of violent entertainment. We are, in a way, purging our desire for action and violence while staying out of it ourselves. We are, in an extremely passive way, getting down with the sickness. All from the comfort of our own homes, only to return to the established order and our everyday 9-to-5 jobs the very next morning, just like the characters in the Purge series. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi Night LIGHT. We hope you enjoyed it, and what do you guys think of the Purge series? I will actually be having another video released, well, I guess as soon as possible, in which I will do a ranking of all the Purge films. Until then, leave me a comment and like below. It truly does help this channel and the algorithm. And as always, I'm your host, Sebastian Vendel-Martinez, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Oh, I know what this is! You've been able to sustain world peace because you have one night a year where you all run around robbing and murdering each other without consequence. That's right. What? It's like The Purge, Morty. That movie, The Purge. Oh,